So this is the new show. In case you haven't heard, it's all about speaking up with different social media influencers, creators, people that do good deeds, people that are, basically bringing a positive influence into our lives. And I want to bring out the people that I've met, the people. I mean, just this one in particular is an incredible human being that I've met that has really touched a lot of people's lives and helping them with different things. Els, if you don't mind, just give us an introduction to yourself for the people that don't know you, and let's go from there.
All right, cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on the show. It's definitely an honor. So my name is Patrick. I go by ELZ. That's my artist name. That's my rapper name. I make music. That's what most people know me as. Um, I am 30 years old. I am born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Um, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, that's as far as it goes. That's what the people should know about me.
Right. All right. Well, Well, what got you? So I met you on TikTok. So what got you started on TikTok of all the things in the world to start on, man?
Man, so I mean, obviously, we live in a day now where social media is taking over. Everybody's on social media. So I've been sober. May 3rd will be 5 years of sobriety for me. Music was always a passion of mine. Even in active addiction, I would open my phone and just write lyrics. That was my way of like journaling. It was therapy for me. But obviously, in the midst of my addiction, I wasn't in the position to chase any dreams or take anything in life too seriously. I was fighting a pretty rowdy disease at the time.
Right.
So when I got sober, I kind of was just it like, oh wow.
Oh, your video cut. That's all good. Oh, I can't hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you, buddy. All right, Ben, go ahead.
Getting sober was for me like I had to relearn everything from scratch. It was, in sobriety in the recovery program, they say it's like being reborn. So I had to just like reprogram myself. I didn't even know who I was, like who Patrick was really, because in the mix of my addiction, like that's the thing that people don't understand is that when we're in active addiction, that's not who I really am. I'm being led by an outside force. I'm fighting a disease. It's not me. It's not me and my true self. So getting sober, whole learning experience. I went through multiple different, almost chapters of my life in sobriety. Kind of figure out who am I? What do I like? What do I enjoy doing? Who am I as a person sober? And going through that, early on in sobriety, fitness was like a huge thing for me. The gym was a huge avenue for me to be able to go and work out and kind of just like let off steam. And early on in sobriety, I kind of was like, let's see what this fitness route takes, and I did some fitness stuff and I hopped on Instagram and I started doing the social media stuff. And I did I love being in front of a camera. I'm a people person. I love speaking. So, social media for me was like, it was pretty easy. I kind of figured out the tricks of social media pretty fast, and my fitness kind of career took off. Within a year and a half of me being sober and working out, getting my body where I wanted it to be, I was sponsored by, top fitness supplement brands. I was sponsored by Rule One, which is one of the biggest sports nutrition companies. I was sponsored by Drink, which is one of the biggest energy drinks out there. I was getting stuff and I was doing photo shoots, but it's just like it wasn't like fulfilling. It just, something was missing. It's like that itch that you have in life. It just like wasn't fully being scratched. It felt good, it felt cool, but it was just kind of like, nah, this just isn't me, man. Like I don't know. This it's cool and all, but I don't think this is me. And the whole time, I was writing music and I was like, you know what, let me let me maybe take this stuff seriously. And I had never recorded professionally up until then. I had never really shown anybody my music. I never freestyled for anyone. It was kind of like this was my baby. And I was very insecure about it. I was still early on in sobriety, so it was like the fear of being judged, the fear of people telling me this is trash, the fear of just, I didn't want someone to tell me that it was bad, and then it ruined like what I had that was so special to myself. So like I just wanted to like protect it, almost keep it a secret. And one day I was in a relationship at the time, and my partner would always like ask me, hey, freestyle something for me, rap me something. And I was always like, nah, I'm not doing it. So one day I was at the apartment, and she had left to go to the store, and I was in the crib, and I had, instrumentals playing on the speaker, and I was freestyling by myself. I actually didn't hear her walk in. So she walked in, and I'm like in the middle of this freestyle, right? Just me, myself, and the music. And I like finish it, and I look over, she's just standing there, and she's like, yo, you're tripping, dude. Like, you are tripping. Like, you're going to the studio tonight. I don't know where you're going. Get on Instagram, make a story. I know somebody probably knows an engineer somewhere. Like, figure it out, because that was crazy. And I was like, all right, well, we'll try it out. So I actually like linked up. I used to record one of my buddies way back in the day in my addiction. One of my close friends used to rap, and he had an engineer. And I'm worried about it, and he replied, and he was like, man, I'm open tonight. I gotta want to come through. So I was like, all right, fuck it. And I went to the studio that night, and he had remembered me in my addiction. We hadn't seen each other in years, like 5, 6 years, 7 years. So when I walked in, he was like, dude, what? At that time I was in the best shape. I'm 3 years sober. I'm swole. Like, last time he saw me, I was a 22-year-old kid, 140 with a rowdy addiction. So he was like, dude, what is going on? And then I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna try thing. And I got in the booth, and he put on the beat, and I did one take of my first verse, and he cut the beat off, and he was like, dude, come out here. And I came out there. He's like, yo, this is your first time like ever being in a booth? And I was like, yeah. He's like, whoa, like, you got, are you trying to do this for real? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of rapping. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And like, at that moment we locked in. He was like, I'm your engineer, bro. You're coming here. This is what we're doing. So I just started recording, bro. I fell in love with the feeling of being in the studio. It was that itch that I had talked about that I couldn't scratch with fitness. Like, that first day in the booth, it was scratched. And I was like, this is where I belong, dude. Like, when I walk into that room, I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about it right now. Like, when I walk into that studio and headphones on, and I get into the booth, literally everything around me that I'm dealing with is like silence, bro. And I'm like at peace with myself. Like, my mind clears a blank, and the only thing that matters at that time is the music that I'm recording.
That's that's pretty incredible, actually, man. I didn't really know all that story behind your fitness and all that stuff. I mean, I knew that you'd come from struggling with sobriety and struggling with different drugs and stuff, and I knew that that's what you represented, especially with most of your music. It's very positive. It's I mean, you do have a lot of like your rap. You do have a lot of like street. I mean, like really good, like kind of like what I would consider kind of like Eazy-E or Meek Mill type stuff. And I mean, it's sick. But the stuff that I love and appreciate so much is the stuff that you put out towards sobriety and everything. And that, that's incredible about your story, though. But tell us more about how you got into the whole sobriety thing, like where that came from. And I mean, not only with your struggles, but how that hit you to be who you are now and being such a positive influence to people that are struggling.
So I mean, like I said, I struggled with addiction for I want to say 8 years, almost 9 years. I got into light drugs and alcohol when I was young, 13, smoking weed, drinking, stuff like that, just regular I guess teenager stuff. I don't know if it's even regular, but I just kids just like experimenting and thinking it was cool, and I wanted to be cool as a kid. And I was watching rap videos and stuff, and everyone's smoking weed, and I'm just like, I want to be cool, dude. And all the kids in my high school, kids in older grades are smoking weed, so like that was just like the cool thing to do, and we were curious. So I started off smoking weed and drinking, and early on, I never really like. It wasn't like the first time that I smoked, I was just like, I need this every day, and I'm stealing and robbing. I liked it. I liked the effects that it gave me, but I wouldn't say that I was like instantly addicted. Over time, as the years went by, at 14, 15, 16, I was smoking more frequently every day. Never really was a big drinker, honestly, it just wasn't my thing. Obviously, if we went to parties and stuff, I did drink. And, I noticed that even though I didn't like to drink, if I went to a party, I couldn't just have one drink. It was like if I had one drink, I was getting blacked out, like every single time. So I started like noticing that there's this pattern. And, I would look around these parties and notice like, there were people there that had one drink and they were cool and they left. Why is it that I can't stop once I start? And I started like noticing, okay, this isn't how it was even 3 years ago. It's getting maybe a little bit, but as a kid, you're like, you're not really thinking too deeply about those kind of things. So you're just kind of like, I brushed it off, I'm like, dude, it's alcohol, it's weed. Everyone smokes weed. Everyone drinks, bro. It's whatever. I'll get my life together when I grow up. And it was just kind of like that kind of thing. And my junior year of high school, I was like a full-blown pothead, smoking weed from the second I woke up to the second I went to sleep all day. I'm skipping class to go outside and smoke. I'm selling weed at this point heavy. I'm selling a lot of weed. One of my really close friends at the time was a big-time drug dealer in the area. I'm selling weed a lot, and I'm selling weed so I can smoke for free. It was never for the money for me. And I had actually got busted at school one day, and the school cop saw me walking in the hallways. I was stoned out of my mind, and he saw it and pulled me into the dean's office. And I had a backpack on me with no books, no school supplies, nothing. It was like an ounce of weed bagged up in a scale. And they dumped it on the table, and everybody was in there, the dean, the principal, the counselors, and they're just like, you gotta go, dude. So
Right.
So I got kicked out. And my dad at the time was like, you're going to rehab. So I went to rehab and didn't care. I was a rebel in rehab. I was the kid who was going around beating everybody up. I be in there. I was like, dude, what is this place? There's people here with like real drug addictions, dude. And I'm just smoking weed, bro. There's people in here doing drugs, so I always brushed it off like, oh, I'm not as bad as them. And I got out, and one of the kids I met in there, we became pretty cool. He invited me to a party. He lived in my area when I got out, and one thing led to another, and that was the first night I ever tried heroin. At the party, I snorted it, and the same way I described the itch with the music, my itch was scratched with life. It was the first time I was like, like, wow, I feel good right now. Like, I'm happy, and that was instant. The next morning I woke up, and I like didn't even remember it. But the next morning I woke up and I was like, hey, what did we do last night? Stuff that we were snorting. And my buddy was like, dude, it's heroin. And I was like, cool, can I get some more? There was no thought process. There wasn't like a damn, what the it was immediately like, can I get more? Can you get me more? And it was an everyday thing for years. For the first year I was snorting it. My second year on, I was shooting it.
Jeez.
And it just got bad, like quick. It got bad very quick. Relationships lost, friendships lost, cars gone, no living situation. All my money that I had ever had spent. I would get a job and hold it down for 2 weeks just to get a paycheck so I can, get high and either get fired or just quit and see how long that paycheck could last me. And then when I was out of money, rob, steal, whatever I could do until I couldn't anymore, get another job, 2 weeks. And it was just like a never ending cycle. I was homeless, sleeping behind dumpsters, breaking into laundromats to sleep in the back, breaking into cars in the winter to sleep in cars. And just doing that for 8 years, it comes to a point, I believe in every drug addict's addiction, you just have enough. Whether it's 2 years, some people have to suffer for 10 years, some have to suffer for 15 years. Like eventually, I just had enough. And I talked about it a little bit on my TikTok live, that, I just didn't want to live anymore towards the end of it. I had no desire to live, and I wanted to die. And I didn't have the balls to grab a gun and blow my brains out. I didn't have the balls to kill myself, but I had went and grabbed some heroin one day and I overdosed, and the ambulance came and Narcan me, and I woke up and refused to go to the hospital. They let me out of the ambulance and I went straight back to the dope spot. And I was like, I'm dying today. Like today is the day that I am dying. I overdosed on one bag, so I know if I do two, 100% I should die. So I was on the back of these abandoned train tracks on the west side of Chicago, cooked up 2 bags on a spoon, shot it up, nothing happened. Like, I don't even think I got high. And like my whole life, like that I had lived up until that point, just flashed in front of my eyes in like seconds. Like it was just such an out of body experience for me. Literally from a kid to teenager, like everything that I had ever experienced in my life, it was like a movie in my mind that I had just watched. And I was like, dude, what the fuck am I doing? This is not what I was put on this earth to do. Like, I'm 24 years old, 25 years old, sitting on an abandoned train tracks in the back of the west side trying to kill myself with a needle. What the fuck, Pat? This is not like, I'm done. I told myself I was done. I had ended up going back to my grandma's house that night. The next morning I woke up and I drove myself to the nearest detox I could find. And I was like, I'm doing this. Like, I don't ever want to get high again. And that was the first day of my sobriety, May 3rd, 2018. And I haven't looked back since.
Man, that's deep, dude. That's, I know there's a lot of people that can really identify with that because, whether it's an addiction with drugs and alcohol or sexual behaviors, or, there's a ton of different things you can have extensive habits with that are, really toxic to your mentality, your physical being. Just psychologically. There's a ton. There's so many people that can identify with that. And I think, honestly, I've had my personal experiences with drugs myself. I randomly found you through a friend. And at first I was kind of like, I was kind of new to the whole live thing because I didn't really even know anything about TikTok. I was kind of new on TikTok, and I was just like, I was kind of checking out these lives, and I was like, man, it's kind of creepy just sitting in somebody's live watching them. It's like just feels weird, like I'm in chat, I'm like, hey, what's up? And the people are just like, what's up? Just talking to their screen. I'm just kind of like, that's creepy, man. Yeah. But I found quickly that it was a really cool way to get to know people. You being one of the main people that I've gotten to know really well. I'll personally consider you a great friend. But just your story itself, like the stuff that you've gone through. Oh, your camera. Oh, you're good. Just your story itself and everything that you've gone through just hit home for me personally. But man, I see what you do on a nightly basis. Like whenever I'm able to come in there and hang out with you on the live on TikTok. Actually, if you don't mind, for the people who don't know how to get on TikTok or whatever, just kind of briefly describe like your screen name, any of things that like have associated with you and what times you normally get on and the days and stuff. So that way, at least if anybody is interested in like listening to your music and sobriety and everything, they can have an idea. But also, I would love if you're cool with it for you to play a few songs for us, some things that are meaningful to you, if that's
Yeah,
cool.
sure. So my TikTok handle is ELZ. It's ELZ underscore 773. That is also going to be my handle for all of my platforms: Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. Those are the three. Instagram, I'm not really on Instagram as much anymore. I was for a while. Instagram is kind of like, not too many people are using Instagram right now. TikTok is just number one right now, and that's kind of the main reason. I shied away from TikTok for a long time because I was like, man, this is corny. And every time I get on here, I see grown men on here doing dances and stuff, and I'm like, dude, this is not. It's not me. It's just not me. And eventually, at that time, I wasn't really taking music too serious, so I just like didn't really have a reason to want to be on the app. But I believe if you're trying to push yourself as an artist, just anything in life, if you have a business, a brand that you're trying to do, if you're not on TikTok, you're tripping, because TikTok is one of the greatest social media platforms I think we'll ever get to see in our lifetime. I think the algorithm is just so unique, and it gives almost anybody and everybody a chance to go viral. It makes it, Instagram was very, very hard to go viral on. And for that reason, a lot of people gave up because they're just like, dude, I do this every day for years, and I can't break 100 views. And on TikTok, they made it very easy for anybody to go viral. So it made people feel special. And then it also gave people an incentive to share with their friends. Like, hey, dude, get on this app. I just went viral. He just went viral. We're all going viral. So it gave everybody a reason to want to be on this app. TikTok, honestly, dude, changed my fucking life. Like, TikTok is, man, the community, the people I have met on there, you being one of them. In the beginning, it is very strange getting on live. Even for me, dude, I get on. In the very beginning, I didn't have any of this. There was no equipment. There were no galaxy lights. There was no, dude. I was living in a hotel at the time. I've talked about this on TikTok, man. I was miserable. Like, and that's another thing is people don't realize is like sobriety doesn't mean that you get sober and life is just fucking amazing. Like, dude, life, when you finally wake up from addiction and you have like this awakening, life will hit you fast and hard, because now, like, you're like living, you're aware to all of these things that you weren't really aware of before. Like, in my addiction, I didn't have to worry about, being a good person, paying bills, having a job. Like, I didn't have to worry about any of that. So like, you get sober, and in the beginning, um, you're like, man, this is so fun. And then it's like time to be a fucking adult, dude. It's time to get a job, and it's time to, have income and be able to provide income to a place that's going to let you live in their apartment complex. Like, these are things people don't understand. It's not just like this is handed to you. These were things where, like, and that's, life hits you fast. You're like, oh, I want to live on my own. And you go to an apartment complex and they're like, okay, well, can you show us 3 months of bank statements? And I was like, 3 months of what? And they're like, bank statements. And I was like, dude, I don't have a bank account. They're like, dude, what do you mean you don't have a bank account? I was like, I have cash. And they're like, dude, no. And so you like start to realize, and life is life. So, when I got on TikTok, I was streaming out of a hotel room with I didn't even have a tripod, no ring light, nothing. It was just a phone sitting on top of a lamp. And I was just like, hey guys. And it's a bunch of random people like, dude, this dude's white, thinks he's black. Look at his tattoos. Where is he from? What is that, a hotel room? Do you like men? It was just like, I'm like reading these comments and I'm like, yo, what is going? It was my first time on live. I'm like, dude, what is going on? And I had one person sit in my live for like the first 14 days of going live every day. I would go live for 30 minutes and there was one person. Her name was Giggles. She joined my live and she would sit there for 30 minutes with me. And I would like play my music off of a Bluetooth speaker in the background, and she'd be like, "Yo, this music's amazing. Keep coming back, keep doing this. And I was like, okay. And I did it for like a month. I was making content at the time. It's just like there was no motion, none. And I was so defeated. I'm like, dude, I just can't do this anymore, man. And around Christmas time, I was like, I'm getting off this app. I just, dude, I'm spending all this time on this app, filming content, editing it, creating it, going on live, no movement at all. I'm like, maybe just this isn't the route for me. And like, those are the moments in life where I believe, like, when you're on the right path and you're about to give up, but you don't, is when the universe will bless you and remind you that you're supposed to be on that path. And like, I literally was about to delete the app, and I had just finished editing some content the night before for the morning, and I woke up and I was like TikTok crazy. When I get on social media, I don't play. I mean, I was taking courses off of YouTube from creators to figure out what are the best times to be posting. I was on a time schedule. I had alarms set up every single day for like 6 a.m. I would wake up, post, go back to sleep. You know, I was like serious about this shit. So I had woken up the next morning. It was a Sunday. It was like 6 a.m. I made a post, went back to sleep. Woke up at noon. It had like 80,000 views. Like 8,000 likes, hundreds and hundreds of comments. And I had like 4,000 new followers. And I was like, okay, well, we could do this, you know? And it was like 9 a.m. and I made another one and I went back to bed and I woke up and that one had 30,000 views. And now I was at like 6,000. And within the next 4 or 5 days, I was at 10,000 followers. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. And then I started going live and it just like, from there on, it just kind of grew.
I actually muted myself because it was interrupting you every time that I would try to say, or any time that I would like agree with you or anything. So it just kind of interrupt you. So I just wanted to mute it. I'm sorry. I'm just still trying to figure out this whole system. So trying to make it good for everybody. Yeah, dude, that's crazy how quick that happened too. Like literally, like you were just about to give up and then it just like turned around like that. And to this day, Giggles, just so everybody knows that's, listening, to this day, Google still gets on every day and she is super like she's here for it. Like she's here to watch this man grow, watch the incredible journey that he's on. And man, it's just, dude, it's incredible. Like the feels that you get from this live, I mean, it's not even about like being entertained by somebody. It's not even like being like, oh yeah, that's my favorite rapper. No, it's not anything like that. It's, you get a sense of family. You get a sense of positivity, a sense of, honestly, something that's just been missing out of our world, honestly, for me, since like COVID, like this, a connection with people. And yeah, it's mobile. Sure. I mean, you're on a phone or your tablet or whatever, and you're watching TikTok, but you get the sense of family with these people. And it means so much, especially during a digital era that we're in, especially with social media being always so negative and always so much like this political side hates this political side. And it's like, just get out of that bullshit and be more in the center and be more here for everybody. Like we're all fucking human. Like we're all here existing. We're all trying to fucking make it in this life. And God, man, we just like quit with the differences and like the real struggles, the things that people really deal with. Let's talk about that type of shit, and that's to me, that's where ELZ is. And that's why I respect him so much as a man, but also as an artist. I mean, like, and I know that he hasn't played anything yet, but I guarantee you he will.
Yeah,
The
we will.
music that this man puts together is heartfelt. It's not even like, I don't even know. It's hard to explain. Um, but it's been a blessing for me. Whenever you get on live, you have the option to gift, or you can just do what we see tap. Whenever we're like just kind of building up the likes and doing hashtag FYP for you page, um, just trying to build up his brand. And we're all there as supporters, but we're also there as family. Like he doesn't treat us as fans. He doesn't treat us as, these are people that are just in my life to, be supportive in any sort of way. He
Right.
treats us as equals, as individuals, people that also he sees our struggle and he sees the pain that we've dealt with because we communicate that with them. So I would definitely personally tell anybody and everybody that loves music, that loves positivity, that loves just community. Really, I mean, this is basically like the building blocks of a community for a sober life. And I know that's something that I've struggled with for a long time, and I overcame it on my own. But honestly, if I didn't have a solid support system around me, I wouldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it.
Right.
And a lot of people don't have that. I see that, and it hurts my heart to see people, especially with like huge families that just don't even give a shit about them, and it sucks. But if you need a family, if you want a family, if you just want to be there to support other people, this is the place you want to be. And that's the whole reason I even honestly, Els is probably one of the main persons that I've met that made me want to start this podcast. The whole purpose is to show that not all of TikTok is like evil crap. It's not all just dancing and shaking their ass and showing skin, and it's not all the same shit that you see on a daily basis from what they show on the media. It's what these people do for one another, for what we do for each other. I mean, it's not even just him, it's all of us. We're all here together. We're all here trying to make a community. We're all trying to make a positive influence in other people's lives. And I honestly, that's why I wanted Els to be one of my biggest, the largest person that I have to be one of the first episodes on my podcast, because he is a definition for me personally of why I have been so active on TikTok, and probably more so than any other social media. So, but yeah, I'm gonna give it back to Els to talk more about his stuff, and if he'd like, just any type of music that he wants to play.
Yeah, most definitely. I like when I get into anything, I research. I research everything, and this is TikTok is a huge app. So in the beginning, I would go into other creators and I would just study lives. I'm studying the way they move, how's the chat moving, and one thing I quickly noticed is that a lot of these creators, they don't acknowledge the chat, they don't acknowledge their people, and these are people that are taking time out of their own lives every single night to sit and watch you, dude. They are spending their own hard money to gift you. They are sitting there for 3-4 hours tapping a screen nonstop. I mean, we laugh about it in the chat and stuff, but that, like, sit with your phone for the next 3 hours. If anybody who's watching this, sit with your phone and just tap the screen for the next 4 hours and tell me if your finger doesn't start cramping up, dude, because it will. I'm telling you now, it will. So it's like, these people are literally giving you every area of their life, their time, their energy, their money, their physical activity, and you are not acknowledging them. And it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, man. And, in sobriety, our purpose as humans is to help one another. That is like our base purpose as humans. Now, in life, as you go through life, you're going to try different things. And I think it's like your calling is how you help others. Our purpose is to help others, but like my calling was music. That was my avenue. I'm going to help people through my music. Some people help through comedy, through being actors, through writers, like just there's so many different avenues. Even fitness, like that wasn't for me, but fitness is another great avenue. Being a personal trainer, being a fitness influencer, helping people with weight loss, like there's a lot of avenues for it. So, I told myself that I want to be the person that I wish I had growing up. I want to be the person that I wish I had early on in sobriety. I just want to be like, I just want to embody sobriety. I want to show people that it's still cool to be sober. A lot of people don't want to get sober because they think of it as like, oh my God, I got to go to these fucking AA meetings with a bunch of old geezers and sit there and fucking do picnics and softball, and like I can't go to the bar, I can't go to parties, I'm just gonna like convulse if I see a drink. And it's just like, dude, that's so far from the truth, man. And my main goal throughout most of my sobriety was like, I just want to show you that sobriety is cool. A lot of people, when they meet me on the app before they even know, and I tell them I'm sober, a lot of people are like, no way, dude. You know, it's just like, I don't even, what? Like, you're sober? I don't, you don't drink, smoke, nothing? And like, people, I just sometimes, like, people think I'm such a chill dude that they forget I even told them I'm sober. Like, I'll tell people I'm sober, and then later on, they'll be like, yeah, man, if you want to come by, you know, we're having some drinks. And I was like, dude, I'm sober. Oh, yeah, that's right, you told me. So you don't, like, drink at all? Yes, dude, sober is, like, for life. I can't have a drink, you know? So I made it my goal to get on TikTok live and create like a balance between recovery and music. So it's not just like music, no recovery, or just recovery, no music. It's like, you know, I start my lives and I just kind of feel the vibe out every night of the chat. Where's the chat moving? You know, are people going through it? Are people having rough days? Okay, cool. We're going to play this type of music and we're going to lead it this direction. Or people are getting in the chat, and if I see high energy, everyone's having a great day. Okay, cool. Stay away from the emotional stuff today, Pat. Let's stick to high energy music. Let's run some battles. Let's like enjoy. And for me, I wanted my life to be, if anything, the time of day for anyone to just like have fun. You know, I have multiple people who reach out to me on a daily basis who tell me that like my life is what they look forward to every night. My life is the only time they get to laugh. They really feel like they're a part of something, that they appreciate me for who I am, that they've yet to meet another creator that just acknowledges every single person. And you know, you know, people, when I first started this, I would like hang out with friends, and everyone's always like, dude, get off your phone, get off your phone, get out, you're always on your phone. And it's like, you don't understand, bro. This is like my real family. This is, you know, if I'm not on the app doing lives, I get off, I'm messaging, you know, 40, 50, 60 people every night. I'm checking in on people. Hey, how are you? If I know something's going on, I'm doubling back every night. Hey, how are you doing? And you know, people are responding, and I'm not going to leave them on red. And I have 6, 7, 8, 15 different conversations open at once with other people. And it's just like, it is overwhelming sometimes. But at the end of the day, like, how, this is what I asked for. This, I wanted, how can I complain about, you know, being, having a full plate when I just wanted to eat? You know, I wanted to eat for so long, and now I have a full plate. So the last thing I'm going to do is complain. It's a blessing. These are like good complaints to have. These are good like problems to have in life now compared to what it was in my addiction. You know, if my biggest problem now is that I have too many people to help, I think I'm okay, man. You know, I'm not really gonna complain about it too much. You know, and if I'm overwhelmed, I'll tell people, hey, I got a lot going on today. I'm not gonna forget about y'all. I'll hit you up tomorrow. And I always do, and everyone can vouch in the chat for that. And I think that when you keep things real and authentic, it will just attract more people. And that's the reason why a lot of people come back, man, because everything I said I was going to do and everything that I stand for, I back it up with my actions. And people see that shit, man, and they love it. And it's not all about just gifting. And yes, that's a huge, you know, obviously as creators, everyone does this for different reasons, man. You know, I quit my job, you know, to pursue this full time, to be able to focus on music. So the gifts for me, you know, they pay my bills, and I'm able to focus on music. And if some people aren't in the position to gift, then that's fine. I'm not going to tell someone, you know, don't come into life because you can't gift, dude. You know, it's okay, man. Everything, we all are a family, and just like a family, you know, everyone plays different roles. You know, like there are the gifters, there are the people who are super active in the chat and are always just lifting people up. Then I have my moderators. Then I have the people who are just monster tappers, and like people who just are sharing this out with all their friends all live. Every 5 minutes I see shares. This person shared. So it's like we all come together and play our own roles, and that's how you have a family, man. And just so blessed, dude. There's every day I get off alive and I'm just like, dude, this is insane, man. This is insane how this is happening. And I'm not the biggest creator on this app, and I don't have a million followers, and there's not, you know, 10,000 people in the live, but man, it's quality over quantity for sure.
I agree with that 100%. It's definitely quality for sure. The people that come in there, I love each and every one of them in different ways. I mean, they're all wonderful human beings, and I've grown to grown to get to know everybody quite well. And we all have our own struggles. We all have our own things going through. And yeah, I mean, some days we're tappers and some days we're gifters. And yeah, I mean, that's the way it is. But I think it's pretty slick, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty good that you read the crowd, like you read us, because there's been nights where it's been really super like down and out, and then like you play that certain music that hits that tone, and it livens us up. It brings us all together, and we're all just kind of like having this emotional connection with one another, and it's unbelievable. It's somewhat like, I mean, if you've ever been to a church or a summer camp of some sort, it's almost like a revival. Like, I mean, pretty
Yeah.
much.
A lot of people like when I start the chat and I see everybody's kind of down and out. Everyone's normal instinct when they're feeling pain or sadness, it's like, I don't want to feel this right now. How can I suppress this? How do I get rid of this? Because I don't like how this feels, And honestly, I think that's the unhealthiest way to deal with it, because it's like you're just pushing it down away somewhere, but eventually it's going to surface back up. So like the biggest thing and this is something I learned when I was going to therapy, it's just like, if you're feeling whatever you're feeling, just feel it. Just feel it through. If you're going through a heartbreak, if you're going through a breakup, you lost someone close to you, death, grieving, whatever, just force yourself to feel those emotions and just feel it through and see what's on the other side of it. So when I see people come into the chat and they're having a rough day, it's not, I don't like do it to like be like, oh, I'm gonna make them feel even worse, But it's like, no, they're going through it, and if we're going through it, we're just gonna go through it together to the fullest, and we're gonna get each other out of this funk. So like, I play music that forces you to like get into like the deepest part of you, and like just kind of dig and figure out what's going on.
And the music that you have hits people in different ways, and it touches people in different ways of like how it meets their emotions, and how it meets, like, it's not like you're playing negative music. It's more heartfelt music. It's more music that is kind of gauged towards reaching your inner feelings and things that matter to you most, and that's a huge deal for me.
Yeah, I call it pain music. It's is the biggest way for me to call it. And the thing is, it's like I've a lot of the people in the chat now, in the family now, I've built personal relationships outside of the app. So now I'm usually aware of everyone's specific situations too. So it's like, I know in the beginning it was like, oh, this person seems sad. Well, now I know this person, and now I know why they're sad. So now I know specific songs to play for specific people, because I know it's gonna force them to tap into. It's gonna force you to not run from it. And I'm not doing this out of pleasure or some evil kind of stuff for anyone that's watching this. And I know a lot of times people are like, dude, stop, I'm in my feels. It's because I want you to feel what you're feeling to the fullest, and hopefully at the end of it you can kind of just be like, damn, I needed that. At the end, you're like, I really, really needed that, dude. And a lot of times I have people reach out to me after the lives like, dude, your songs tonight, man, I really needed to hear that shit. I think that sometimes in life, we're kind of searching for answers to certain things, and we kind of like ask the universe sometimes, show me a sign. And signs come in different forms. And I think a lot of times people who come into my life get those answers sometimes, whether it's through just someone saying something in the chat, or just listening to a song or hearing a specific lyric and being like, I just needed to hear that, man. It's just a blessing, dude. It's a blessing to be able, and I don't look at it from a perspective of like, I'm the leader, which is another like thing that I think a lot of creators do, is kind of just like, I run the show, dude. It's not like, I'm just, I don't know. I was just blessed enough to be put in a position to create this, but we're all equals, man. I'm not better than anyone. I'm not up on a pedestal, and I do this for y'all, for y'all now, more than anything. I'm this is another form of my calling, and there's some nights where I'm just like, it's like weird, because if you notice, I don't even post a lot of music content on my page, like none. It's all recovery content, man. And it's just like, because I kind of figured out, okay, well, my targeted audience for my music is gonna be recovering addicts. You know, that's who I wanted to target. So it's like I made recovery content, so everybody who was into recovery started coming into my lives, and then it was like, oh, hey, by the way, guys, I make music if you want to hear it. And then I played it, and everyone was like, dude, what? You know, and it was kind of like I figured out a loophole how to just do both. And um, man, it's everything short of a blessing. Every night is an emotional night for me when I get off, y'all. Sometimes I wonder how y'all think of me and what y'all look at me as. Like, I wonder if everyone's in the chat like, this dude is just got his shit together and is just always happy, because I come on the lives every night and I give you guys all of me, and I'm always high energy, and I'm not always in the mood to do it, but I do it regardless, because I know, like, there's someone tonight that might need this, that could potentially save them today. I'm gonna do it. And every night is an emotional night for me when I get off. That, like, coming from addiction, and at one point in my life, there wasn't a single soul that wanted me around. Not a single soul wanted me around. People would, like, hide their purses and call the cops and stuff when they saw Pat coming, and now there's a group of, 30, 35 people that show up collectively every single night to watch me on a screen, and it's the highlight of their day. It's still a trip, bro. I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't, man.
Well, you did ask. So what most of us think, and what I personally think, when we get off live, what we think about you, we think real. That's it. Like, I mean, there's really not any other way of explaining it. You're real. You identify with us in different ways because we're all individuals, we all have different struggles and everything, but we all 100% say you're real. Like, there's no bullshit about you. There's nothing fake about you. There's nothing fake about your attitude and what you care about people and how you hold yourself and how you demand respect as a human being and demand respect for people that you love and care about. That's what matters. I mean, you are a real individual, and that's what we love about you, man. Um, Honestly, like, I don't even know, man. It's every night's different, I mean, it's some nights it's just wild and crazy, and we're like getting into the gangster music, like the old school shit that you made, and sometimes it's just like real emotional and just kind of everybody's going through a slum, and it's kind of like it's just like I said, like a revival, like a heartfelt thing, and then some nights it's just 100% sobriety. And I think you're underplaying yourself, man. You said 30 some odd people. As of right now, I believe you have 45 subscribers, but you also have 10,000 plus people following you that look at your stuff that don't even get on lives. So I mean, you're touching more people than you realize, and that is honestly, one of many different aspects of why I wanted to do this, is because I want to help you reach other people. Not because of any financial gain, not because of anything like that. I could care less about that, and I know you could too. But the fact that you're helping people in a manner that is really out of the ordinary, like the fact that you are helping people in a different way, in a musical way, in an artistic fashion, that is so big. Like, it's a huge deal because anybody can identify with music, I mean, not everybody has to like rap. I've actually seen numerous people come into your live that are like, man, I hate rap, but your music is pretty sick. Like, I mean, I love your message. And that's what it's about. Like, it's about the message. And you know, that's been definitely one of the big parts for me, for you personally. But I'm not fanboying over here any bullshit like that. But I'm just saying, like, you're a real good dude. And I do appreciate everything you do, because I know for a fact that you've helped a lot of my friends throughout the app, and you've helped me through some hard times. And it's not even just about, like, I mean, I'm sober. I've been clean and sober for a long time, and so have you. But it's not like you helped me through the sobriety part of it, but you helped me through life, because we have an understanding between one another. We have that background that just sits in the back of your head, kind of, it almost infects any sort of conversation that you have with people in the future that, as soon as they hear like, oh, you used to be a drug addict, it's immediately like a judgment call.
Yeah.
Whereas we don't have to worry about that. We already know, hey, look, that's something we look past, because we've dealt with it. But a lot of people can't look past that. So I think that is one of the bigger things, like not even just the sobriety itself, because I honestly do believe that you can help people with their sobriety, but also stay on that track of sobriety, but also help them with future situations that happen in their life. So
Absolutely, man. And you're right. And early on in sobriety, I was kind of still like, now where I'm at in my life, I talk about my addiction everywhere I go, and I'm not ashamed of it. And if you don't like me, and if you're gonna judge me for it, I mean, respectfully, fuck you. Respectfully, fuck you, dude. Because who are you to judge me, man? You don't know me, and you probably don't know left from right when it comes to addiction. You don't know shit about addiction. You probably don't even understand that it's a real disease. A lot of people look at this stuff like, oh, he did drugs and he stole from his family. I did, I did steal from my family, and it wasn't because I didn't love them. Um, I stole from my friends. It wasn't because I wasn't a good friend. I was a good friend. I loved all the people around me, but I was being led by like this. It's I talk about it sometimes. I believe in God. I believe in like a higher power. I believe in good spirits. And if you believe in that, you have to believe in the opposite, which there's evil spirits. And I truly think that I was like, my life was being led by like we say like in the program, it was like demons. I was on demon mode. Everywhere I looked, it was like, how can I take, how can I steal, how can I do this? And don't get me wrong, like, to people that I have harmed in the past, I understand if they want nothing to do with me for the rest of my life, even if I get sober. I personally harm them. But for people who don't know who I am and I never did anything to, for you to just hear the word drug addict and instantly judge someone, man, you have no idea that it's actually like one of the hardest things to overcome. So, now I wear that shit on my sleeve everywhere I go. That's who I am. That's what made me into what I am today. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it or hide it from anybody. And, the people that came into, the family on this app, on TikTok, who accepted me for who I was, no judgment at all. It's only right that I did the same in return to them. I don't judge anybody in there. They messaged me outside of the app, and I think that it's like one of the coolest things is that, a lot of these people, I've never met any of these people face to face, ever. But it's just like this, such a strong relationship that we have with each and every one of us individually, and then you guys amongst yourselves. I don't always have time, and I can't always, and I'm an extremely busy guy. But even at night when I go on TikTok and I see like you and Cole and Winter and Amber, dude, I just can't help but smile. I'm like, dude, that's fucking cool, dude. We joke and we call it TikTok after hours and whatever, but dude, it's fucking cool, man. Like you guys have your friend group and you guys have each other, and just so many people within the family of Team ELZ became closer to one another. And it's like, I'm so happy that I know that if worst case scenario, I'm not there, someone else will be. If someone's struggling and they need to reach me and they can't, there's 45 other people in the family as of today that will be right there. And we're all close with each other. And even the new people who come in, it's like you get sucked into this family that you're like forced into, man. Even if you don't, like, sometimes I laugh when new people join and I see them in there like 2-3 days in a row, and I can tell like, okay, they're about to be here, and I laugh like they have no idea that they're just getting sucked into one of the coolest families that they're ever probably going to be a part of. And it's just like within it, not to like put anyone on blast, but like even Kendra came into the family. She was there for a couple days in the very beginning, and I was like, okay, she's cool. She's positive. She's in sobriety, and she was putting me up on the screen in her rehab, which was so cool. And then like a week in, I see her on the boxes with all y'all, and I'm like, see, it happened again. Like there she is. It happens every time. But I love it, dude. I love that we can create that. You know, a lot of people don't. I don't know personally everything about every single person in my chat. I know some things. I don't know everything personally, but I'm sure there are some people who don't have that in real life. You know, um, I don't have that in real life, so it was important for me to create that for myself, and I know how important it is. And I think it's another big reason a lot of people show up every night, man, because it's like they are finally like a part of a family that is genuine, real love. They feel welcome. It's like a safe zone for them. They're not judged. They're not yelled at. There's no trauma. It's just like this is. It's almost like it's almost as if like people come into our lives and they've been healing in a sense. And man, that shit speaks volumes, bro. It's powerful. And for me to be able to just like orchestrate that, man, crazy, dude, crazy.
That's a dope spot to be in, bro. I'm just saying, like, to be able to be that person to kind of lift everything off. You know, like you said, I mean, we've all kind of gotten into our own little thing here and there, but you know, it all started from you. You know, and we all congregate there for one another, and you know, like you said, if you're not available, which you know, how much can a human be available for everybody, especially whenever it's 10,000 plus people. Um, but you are. I mean, you're very much present for a lot of everything, pretty much everything that I know of. But yeah, whenever you're absent for whatever reason, whether it's taking care of stuff or whatever, I mean, there's always someone there to stand up and support the other person that needs help. And that is a huge part of the community that you've helped build. Like, I mean, you are the building block, you are the glue, and without you we wouldn't have each other. So I mean, you do have to give yourself some sort of credit with that, because it's been a wild ride, but it's building into some sort of solid community of positivity and good people that want to help one another, people that want to be a good positive influence with each other. And that's something that honestly deserves to grow. Things like that deserve to fester into something huge. Like, they deserve to blow up. So if you're the main man that made that start, then I think you deserve a lot more props than you give yourself. But I'm gonna tell you this, man. I think I want to hear some at least two of your songs. So is there any way you could play one of them for us right now?
Um, yeah, hold on. Let me.
Bet,
I'll give y'all some unreleased stuff. Hold on, give me a second.
bet. All right. While you're doing that, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. Okay.
All right, cool.
Bet.
I'm about to get that unreleased. I got one. I'll play one unreleased.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this one is I'll play this. If I say I love you, then I mean it. Say
Searching for life, what's the meaning? I finally found a way. If I say I love you, then I mean it. I never thought that you could save me. My demons came to break. If I say I love you, then I mean it. Searching for life, what's the meaning? I finally found a way. If I say I love you, then I mean it. I never thought that you could save me. My demons came to break. I say I love you, then I approach them the pain. They don't take it away. Been sober, which means that I face it today. They never show love, I still gave it away. Turn they back on the ones who was paving the way. Life without purpose ain't a real one. Teacher said I was fucking up, I wouldn't be none. Hard cold from the pain I'm feeling. Excuses played out, fuck you, you can keep them. I know who real and I know who would save me. Survive every storm that was meant to come break me. I can't save you, I know you can't save me. Through music, my voice gon' live on if they take me. One step ahead, you can't ever blame me. Still write these songs if the labels ain't pay me. It's deeper than rap music, help me escape. I move off emotion, don't move off of faith. Still remember first time, put the pen to the pad. Sat there and wrote a whole song by my dad. Then I crumbled it up, started crying and scream. I make music for those who gon' know what I mean. Used to move with a heart that was filled up with hate. Blessing could come, I ain't have any space. The drugs that would chase me, the pain in my face. In the fast lane, I said I love you, then I mean it. Searching for life, what's the meaning? I finally found a way. If I say I love you, then I mean it. I never thought that you could save me. My demons came to break. I say I love you, then I mean it.
That's a dope one. That's a dope one.
Uh,
Really like that one. I just recently started performing that one on my live, and like I don't know, you weren't in there the first night I played it. I think you were working. It was like 2 nights ago I played that, and everybody was like, "Yo,
that's sick.
you got to release that, man." And so I'm a fan of that one. That one's pretty deep.
So
And
where'd
then,
those lyrics come from?
that was just, man, honestly, like. My songwriting process is very weird. There's never like hold on, let me turn this down a little bit so I can hear a little bit of a okay. Like when I go into a song, it's like there's never like a premeditated thought of what am I gonna write about. It's kind of just like I hear the beat, I sit there, and I come up with a hook. And once I come up with the hook, then it's like, okay, I sit with the hook for a little bit. And I just kind of like, I just like stare at my phone, dude. And whatever emotion just comes up, like I just start writing. You know, it's the first bar. And then I build my next bar off of the first one. And then I just kind of like get into a story. And I feel like the message is the same in every song, but it's just, I don't know, man. Music is very cool to me, bro. The way you can just like the way I write songs, and like at the end of the day, a lot of my songs all have this exact same message, but they're just so different, and the words are so different, and I talk about so many different things, and it's just cool, man. Just the writing process. There are times where I feel like, you know, I'll go through periods of time, like a month, where I'm like, okay, all these songs are kind of starting to sound the same, dude. You know, figure it out. You're kind of just like saying the same stuff. But I think that's also just me getting in my head as an artist, because then I'll play that from other people, and everyone's just like, dude, this is amazing, man. Like every one of those, like, and I think that's another cool thing about the chat on TikTok and the family, is having so many different kind of people who are going through different things in life. Like everyone has their favorite, which I think is very cool, because, you know, I'll sit there sometimes and be like, you know, do you guys have any song requests? And everyone has like their go-to song, man. And it's, for me, like, it's very cool. And I'm not gonna lie, it also makes things very easy for me. You know, it's like, it's that, you know, because if everyone only had one favorite song, it would just be like, fuck, you know, how many times can I play that one song over and over again? But like literally everybody has, and like there are people who come into the chat and are like new, and you know, they came across my page, they went into my link tree, listened to my music first, and then came into my life for the first time. And they'll come in there like, dude, this blah blah blah, this song is my favorite. And I'm like, wow, I forgot I even recorded that song, dude. Like that, you know, it's almost like shocking, like, you know, because I have songs of mine that are my favorites as well. And a lot of them I don't ever perform on live, and I have people who will come in and like, 30 Deep is one of them. It's a little bit more of like a Meek Mill vibe, but Kendra came into the chat for the first day and she was like, dude, I just listened to 30 Deep and that's my favorite song. And I was like, dude, no one even knows about that song, so it's very, very cool. I'm gonna play this one too, and this has been a huge favorite of everybody's as well. This is another unreleased one.
Man, these people only gonna support you when you're doing worse than them. Every person in my life only stuck their hand out when I was below them. As soon as I passed them, everything changed. You could give your all to somebody and they still gonna turn around and stab you in the back. The love ain't real out here. So all you got is yourself. Focus on you, chase your dreams, and make something out of yourself. Cause at the end of the day, what you gonna be remembered by? I don't show emotions. And lately I've been cold inside. And that's how they made me. Tough times really changed me. I don't show emotions. And lately I've been cold inside. My angels came to save me. I give my all cause any moment they can take me. Yeah. After all the things we've been through, I can't look at you the same. Went behind my back, throwing dirt all on my name. And I know you can't sleep, got you tripping off the shame. Heard you going around saying I'm the one to blame. Fake love and fake drugs, I lost it all. I found out who I was when my back against the wall. Learn to get back on my feet every time I fall. And I still feel the pain from the night I got that call. Summer nights we stayed up and we would laugh. We bonded over pain and how they hurt us in the past. Knew we were in love and we both knew that it would last. Never thought within a year that everything would burn and crash. I was broke but gave you everything I had. You treat me like a joke, push my buttons till I snap. You made it hard to cope, you told me that I'm like my dad. I had to let you go, I promise I ain't coming back. I don't show emotions. And lately I've been cold inside. And that's how they made me.
That's another. That's been a huge favorite. And even with that song, for example, that the first half of the verse is about a specific person, and then I just shifted. The second part of that verse is about an old relationship with a female. So sometimes like it just like varies. Like. And it kind of all flows into where you might be thinking I'm talking about, an old relationship. But, like the first 4 to 6 bars of that verse were about an old friend that I had, a best friend. And then I shift into immediately talking about an old relationship. And, I just keep things pretty simple, man. I just talk about shit that I went through. And because I know it's like these are very common issues and stuff that people are going through every day in life. Dude, breakups, betrayal, heartbreak, pain, losing people close to you, addiction, being laughed at, being snaked, people being disloyal to you. Like these are all things that we all experience on a daily basis. So, I think that, this pain style of music is just so much more important than making club music and party music. Because don't get me wrong, there are days where you're in that vibe, man. Everything's going well. You wake up, man. You got a promotion, whatever. It's summer. The sun's out. You're going, to go out with your friends. You're not listening to that shit on the way to, But I think that in life as human beings, if you were to take the whole 365 of the year, I think more days are dealing with like real life issues than those happy perfect day type scenarios. I don't think many humans just have like a perfect day every single day where they're just like, life is great, life is beautiful, everyone's awesome, I love everyone, and everyone's just so good to me, and I'm so like, it's just not, that's not a reality that we live in. So I've been told I make music that forces you to feel.
And I agree with that 100%. I will disagree though, because you said a lot of your music is very much the same. It's definitely not. There's different wide arrays of music that you make. It's all within the rap genre, agree, but you have different things that mean a lot of different things. Like I like, let's just for instance, the Red Flag song. I mean, for one, that's pretty dope. Like everybody loves that song and it's freaking hilarious.
I was just telling someone the other day, I'm like, dude, I performed that song, and now there's like a whole red flag movement going on of like just, you know, everyone's live that I'm going into, even just within the family. I'm seeing like, oh, red flag, red flag, red. Even like when I start my lives, before I even get to that, everyone's in the chat like, oh, that's a red flag, and I'm like, dude, they are loving this. So, yeah, I have songs where I kind of just have fun with it. Even like Love and Hate, that's more of like a I think that's also the cool thing about being an artist that's versatile. Like what's impressive to me is not an artist that can make like different styles of music. I think what's impressive to me is an artist who can make different styles of music but still maintain the same message. I think that's what's impressive to me. If you can make, you know, people like Dax and people like Fix, they can rap. They have hardcore Eminem rap. Then they have country music. Then they're making heavy rock songs. And they have Christian rap. And then they have melodic. And it's like you have you have like 6 different artists in one person, but every song is still portraying the exact same message. That to me is just so beyond impressive, man, as an artist. And I think that's where I'm trying to get at. Um, and I have some things in store that I haven't really talked about on my lives, and I haven't really disclosed yet. But I've definitely been trying to expand as an artist, man. And I have a few songs and a few songs written that are outside of what people know ELZ right now, and I'm excited in the future to play those kind of things on live for the people.
Well, that's exciting. I can't wait to figure out what's going on with that because I don't even know. So yeah, I think you definitely fall in place with those rappers that you mentioned because you definitely have the message. You have the message that puts forth, you know, positivity moving forward. You know, dealing with pains up front. You know, just facing them head on. Um, you know, just the whole sobriety thing, and like I mean, just everything that you do is about making a positive influence in people or helping people move past traumas and terrible situations. So I personally think that you're definitely one of the best. And whenever you come up, just don't forget me, man. But
Man, like look, and like I want to be able to, you know, we've talked about it before. Of, you know, even gifting goes, man. You know, like I messaged you the other day, and I was like, dude, if I could, everybody would get unis. You know, everybody would get lines. Everybody, you know, I wish I can, but like I don't know, man. Different people in life have different motives and different outlooks and different reasons for what they do, and even people daydream differently. You know, people daydream about certain things, and I know there's rappers out there and artists who are like, man, I can't wait to blow up and be able to just like get a Ferrari and buy jewelry and like go to the strip club and just make it rain like that and like teach his own, man. I don't knock it, I feel you, man. Some people grow up in poverty, they come from the hood their whole life and all they knew their whole life was poverty and they can't wait to just not have to live like that. And I don't knock it, I feel you, man. When you grow up eating ramen every day and wearing the same clothes for a month straight, it's only inevitable that you're going to start like daydreaming of one day being able to just be so filthy rich that you don't have to worry about that shit, man. But, for me, my daydreaming consists of things like I can't I can't imagine what it would feel like to be able to call all 45 subscribers and be like, yo, the private jet's waiting here and I got a show tomorrow night. You guys are all coming backstage. Like that to me is like, that would just be so cool. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in the position to, go to my home city and be like, I'm building a recovery center right here and I just bought the land, man. And we're building a rehab right here. I can't imagine what it would feel like to get on stage and have an arena of people singing your music word for word. You know, I see videos of rappers who get on stage and up and coming rappers who blow up, and they, you know, the beat starts playing, and before they can even lift up the microphone, there's, you know, 15,000 people word for word singing your whole song for start to finish. And that shit gives me goosebumps, bro. That's powerful. You know, to be able to bring, you know, it's one thing to get followers on TikTok, and I'm at like 15,000 now. I'm on the main page, but to like collectively gather 20,000 people from all over the world into one arena to come watch you and know every single song word for word, and like see like the people in the crowd, and like you can feel how your music has changed their life. You know, that to me is like, man, it's crazy, and I wish to get there, man. And a lot of rappers that I follow, like, you know, MGK, he's more a little bit of a rock now, but back in old school MGK when he was rapping, you know, there's videos and vlogs that he was doing after shows, and you know, him walking up to the arena and the fans are outside, and people are crying, dude, like legitimately crying, man, like screaming at him, saying that, you know, your music saved my life, dude. Crazy, bro. That shit is powerful for someone to be able to just create words and put them on an instrumental, and just that's all. And you're like saving people's lives with that shit, man. It's crazy powerful, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely a an unbelievable art. You and I think what you said one day in your live is that that's something you want to have a legacy of something that can never be taken away from you. And that's definitely what music can do and does do for many people. Regardless of how popular you become, you have your words, your spoken words that last forever. And I think that that's something that resonates with a lot of people in different ways. You know, you can take that as a um, even a pass on someone that wants to live on, you know, in a different way for their children or for future people coming up. I mean, it's just it means so much, and it definitely affects people differently. And even though your words may be specifically about, you know, a girl you dated in the past or something, I could be taking it as like my brother, or, you know, I mean, just the words are, you know, they're transferable, like the meaning behind them and the words that you say, the way that you say it. I mean, it all transfers differently for some people. So I definitely believe in the power of music and definitely the stuff that you're doing. And that's one of the main reasons why I support you. And one of the main reasons why I consider you a friend is because you're definitely doing good work. Like you're doing positive work. And it's not just for, you know, it's not just to help people out and everything. You want to really do something to make a change. And that's what makes you heroic to me. So
Yeah. No, I mean, like you know, that first song I played, the unreleased one, you know, I had a line in there. I said, "Through music, my voice gonna live on if they take me," and that's what I mean, man. You know, it's inevitable. One day we're all gonna have to leave this earth, dude. And you know, for my future kids and their future kids and future family members, like I have music that will be here forever. You know, I pay a little extra money every time I upload a song. There's this thing called it's a feature on my distribution company and label that I go through. It's called the Legacy Builder, and it means that no matter what happens, whether I pass away, die, you legally cannot remove my music from any platforms. It will be here forever on every platform, no matter what. So I just think that's cool, man. That like, you know, even 200 years from now, you know, when I'm gone and my kids are gone, and that, like, there's still just gonna be like, you know, one day people are gonna be like, this is my great grandpa, and like, he made music. It's just cool, man. Like, there's an opportunity that my voice will be heard for a very long time and still be able to help people far after I'm gone off of this planet, man. And that shit's cool, dude.
well, on that note, I think you have covered quite a bit of your story and quite a bit of what you've been through so far. I would love to have you on another time. There's a lot of stuff that we can talk about, especially like with TikTok and other social media stuff. But if you wouldn't mind, just leave us on a final note of what you think about what would happen to people that you talk to, people that you represent, people that you help out. What do you think would happen if right now our federal government, our Congress is looking at getting rid of TikTok? What do you think could possibly happen from something like that? So if you don't mind, just go into that real quick and then we'll end it shortly after.
And dude, I think that as well as anything else in life, the media only portrays a certain light of anything in this world that we do. Even just anything on the media, they show you what they want to show you. And don't get me wrong, there are points that have been expressed that I agree may not be the best. Certain privacy policies that can be worked on and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I do agree with that, but I think that we're overlooking the power of what this app can do for people in their lives. And I think that we're looking at it too hard as just like an application when there's never been an app like TikTok ever. Facebook is huge. Don't get me wrong, Instagram is huge, but just the presence that TikTok has had in so many people's lives, the communities that people are building, the families that's never happened before on an app. It's just like you get online and even when I'm scrolling through my For You page and I'm coming across other creators, it's like every creator has their own family. And it's like, dude, these are people that need this app. These are people that are struggling with mental health. They're struggling with depression, anxiety. They just lost a loved one. They may be loners. They're isolating. They don't go outside. They don't call anybody. But the one thing they do, and the one thing that's helping them continue to push through life is this app. Being able to get on every night for 2-3 hours with 60 other people that they can call friends and just enjoy life for 3 hours a night when they're on, a creator's live. And, waking up, some of these people haven't woken up to text messages from other people their whole lives. And now, these people are waking up every day and they've got 60 family members who are checking up on them. Hey, how are you, man? Hey, we're getting on boxes. We'd love for you to join, even if you turn your camera off, man. We want you to be there. We're all here for you. Going into a chat and a certain user joins and everyone sees and they're all like, hey, what's going on? How are you? Hey, love. Some people haven't had that their whole lives, man, and they finally have that. And it's like now you're trying to take that away from people. And, we try to stress the importance of mental health and now companies are offering employees mental health days. And it's like, I feel like there is a need for mental health awareness, but it's like, finally we have something that has such a huge impact. Why are we trying to take this away from people, man? This ain't about the money at the end of the day. This ain't about creators being mad that they're not going to be able to get gifts anymore. This, for some, I'm sure it is. For some, I'm sure it is. But this isn't about the creators at the end of the day. Honestly, this ain't about the creators. This is these families that have been built that you are now taking it away, because it won't be the same on Instagram and it won't be the same on Facebook. It just won't. TikTok is just TikTok, man. It's one of a kind, and the energy and the presence it's had is just unmatched, man. And I hope and pray every single day that this does not get taken away from us, man.
Well, I don't think there's any better words for that. Honestly, I think you pretty much covered it all. I feel the exact same way. And a lot of people look at it as like just an app for kids and shit. It's way more than that. It's way more than that for a lot of people that need help. And like ELZ said, it's crucial for a lot of people. There's so many people that don't have anybody that were taken away during COVID, or that never had any sort of support system in their entire lives, and now they do. And if you remove that, then you're looking at countless lives. I mean, there's 1 billion people on TikTok right now. 1 billion. That is 1/7 of the entire world on one app combined. So I mean, you're looking at millions, hundreds of millions of people that are in tight with groups of people that they need. And granted, yeah, they can share their number. They can, go to Clapper or another app, but what about the ones that are lost? What about the ones that don't really, know a whole lot about technology or how to communicate with others, and it just disappears one day? What happens to those people? And that's my concern. And also the people who need this, like just for you, for instance, like that need your music. Well, say they can't afford, Spotify or something like that, or say they don't have the time to do other things like that. And what they had was a free app that they can get on and watch and communicate with their community and listen to your music that helps them. Taking that away could be detrimental for people. And I mean, I'm not advocating for the app itself. I think that like what else said was 100% correct. There are some privacy policies that are absolutely need to be looked over, but to take it away from people at this point would probably do more harm than good, honestly. But
I hope do take it away. If it comes down to that, I just hope that there is something in order for a very similar, if not exact, application that has already been being built. I think that I hope that something is able to be released where the transition is quick and easy and smooth, and it's like, okay, guys, we know how important this was to you. Unfortunately, we couldn't come to agreements with the creators of this app. I think it's also a huge money thing at the end of the day. That's all it is, man. It's America. Let's just be real. America doesn't like that this app is owned by China, and China's making a shit ton of money off of the creators. And America wants to have control, or if not, percentage of the profits, percentage of the sales, percentage of whatever stakes in the company. And China's basically telling them, fuck off. This is our app and our money. And now I know China's like selling the algorithm to other companies too that they use for TikTok, and they do things a little bit differently. And I think it's going to come down to just who's going to budge and who's not going to break. And if China holds their ground and says like, dude, this is our app, you guys either deal with it or ban it, like we don't care, then it'll just get banned. And I just hope that if there is, I've heard of other apps. I haven't looked into them. Like I've heard of Clapper the other day. I haven't looked into it. I don't know about any of these other apps, but I just hope that there's something that is just as similar to TikTok as there was. I don't know. I just don't think it'll ever be the same. People are so established, and it's just like having to start all over. It's deeper than, I guess in a sense it is about these creators, man, because at the same time, yeah, you're losing all these communities and families, but at the same time, you have these creators that just, put so much time and effort into content and posting and editing and to grow. Like this is, people don't understand, being a creator is a full-time job, dude. Waking up and filming content and finding people to come film for you and going home and editing and even just creating a post and captions and making sure this looks perfect and the header and the hashtags and then saving it into the drafts. Like sometimes I sit there for 3 hours just getting my post ready the night before for the next morning. Hours of just creating captions, everything, making sure it's perfect, adding a song with the right time. All that stuff is like meticulous work, man. And these are creators that spent years and years and have grown millions of followers, dude. And for you to just take that from them, we experience sometimes when our accounts get banned. It's like it's a little taste of what it's like to just get that shit ripped right from you. And you see, how if you don't have a backup created, we freaked out last week when my account got banned. For that first day, it was like panic mode of like, dude, what do we do? We don't, what, it was, everybody was freaking out, and we got the backup and we got it up and running. But that's just a little taste. Now imagine if that's gonna be permanent. It sucks, man.
It's not going to be good for the general public that uses it. And let's be honest, a lot of people use it. It's not just Americans. So, but there's a lot of Americans that I know personally that are there for help. So,
Right.
Help and support. So, yeah, go ahead and, before we go ahead and tell us your name on TikTok. Give us all of your, I know your link tree is already in your bio and everything, but let's just say someone that's never going to download TikTok, never has any interest in that. with their like your Instagram and all that other good stuff, so that way people can find you. And if they want to look you up on what sites you have that you play your music, that your music is actually streaming on, if you wouldn't mind going into all that before we head out.
Yeah, so Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. If you type in ELZ, that's ELZ underscore 773. That is my handle for all my social media platforms. If you are on there, shoot me a follow. TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. All three of my bios have my Linktree link in there. If you click on the link, it takes you directly to all of my major streaming platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, all of that. Now, if you're just going on Spotify or Apple Music to look me up, it is just ELZ is my artist name. So if you type in ELZ, I don't know now what it's like. In the beginning, it was a little bit harder to find me because there's a lot of rappers that are just called ELZ. So it was like, it took some time to scroll through. I think now, from what I've heard, I'm at the top of the list. So you should be able to just find me on Spotify. I am a verified artist. So they tend to push verified artists more than non-verified. But if you were to type in, for example, ELZ Miss You is one of my songs. It will pop up right away. And from there, you can just click on my artist name and follow me from there.
And so is Red Flags, by the way. Hilarious song. Pretty dope. I love it. And also, go ahead and tell them when you're on live most of the time. I mean, I know that you try to go on every single night, but I know that's not entirely possible. So if you wouldn't mind telling them the times and everything, if they do decide to get on TikTok.
So I stream, unless I have something like that I can't push off. For the most part, I do stream seven nights a week. I think I may miss like a night or two here a month. Other than that, I'm pretty spot on with 7 nights a week. I live in Chicago, so we're on Central Time Zone, I believe. So I try to get on around anywhere between 7:45 to like 8:15-ish every night is when I try to get on. Sometimes it's 7:45, but like on average, let's say 8 o'clock every night Central Time Chicago, I get on and I stream anywhere from 2 to 2.5, 3 hours, but around 8 o'clock. If you go on my page and it's 8 o'clock and you don't see that I'm on, give it like 15 minutes, I'll be on. And obviously, once you join the fam, once you join, you know what's going on here. We all keep each other so updated. You know, Winters is amazing. Winters is my moderator, and I couldn't have asked for just a better friend and moderator than her. I mean, she's like in a sense my manager almost. Like, you know, I'll message her and say, hey, I'm getting on in 15 minutes, and she'll go and message 150 people that she knows could potentially be in the live and lets them all know every night that I'll be on. So, but yeah, 8 p.m. Central Time Chicago is what I'm usually on.
And also, for those of you that have never been on TikTok or never even seen a live, if you go into ELZ underscore 773 and you just follow him, whenever you go into your TikTok and you go to, say you got your main page open and you go to inboxes, if you just wait a second, all the people that you follow that are creators, they'll pop up on the top like this. They'll pop up on the top of your screen, and you'll see his profile picture, and it'll have this like little shining light behind it, essentially, kind of just like a little red glow. But you could also just go straight to his page if you're following him either way, or not following him. If you go straight to his page and his profile picture is glowing red, that means he's live. So then you can just tap on that. It'll immediately send you right into live, and you're automatically in chat. That means everybody that's in there can see you. They can say hello. You can say hello, or you can just sit in there and you can just chill. You know, you can just sit, you can kind of catch the vibe, see what everybody's like, you know, see if you even enjoy his music or not. But, you know, I would definitely say, you know, check him out. He's got good vibes. Most of the time we're really just chilling and listening to music, and his music essentially. And he's rapping for us. You know, there's some of his music that he'll actually just he'll play because he's got most of his stuff already recorded, you know, all done professionally. But then a lot of times he'll actually sing for us. And then sometimes you'll see him in a battle. So, you know, if you see him like in a battle against another person on live, then that's a whole nother world if you had never played that before. But just hang in there for a little bit, wait until the music comes back on, because you know, if we win that battle, which we usually do, not to brag, but we usually do, if we win that battle, he's going to play a special song for us because he loves his people. And you know, honestly, I think that would probably be the best way to end it, don't you think, Els? Maybe play that song for us, bro.
But the thing is, I don't have the remix. I don't know if I can remix it.
That's cool. That's cool. No, that's fine. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. We'll do it next time. How about that? Because you'll have the remix done by then, right?
New version edited. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, unless the remix is possible, we can't. I mean, if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
That's what's up, bro. And that's cool. Because if they don't know, then maybe they'll be enticed to go check out and see what the hell we're talking about. Yeah. Definitely, bro. Well, dude, Els, it's been a pleasure, man. I love being able to sit and chat with you. We chat every single night, almost every night. Sometimes I'm not available, sometimes you're not. But you know, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, dude. You're a stand-up man. You're a good individual. You stand up for people that need help and that are, you know, in times of need and stuff. And dude, that I have a ton of respect for you as a person and as an artist. So I can't thank you enough for this, and I certainly look forward to seeing you grow in the future.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me on here. It's honestly an honor. It's a blessing for you to ask me, to be the first guest on here. And I'm looking forward to yourself growing with this, man. I'm excited to see you, grow to the point where you're, potentially getting creators that are bigger than me on here. And I think podcasts are very cool, man. I think it's a huge wave right now of lanes to take as far as like social media. So you definitely fit the vibe, man. You got the whole Joe Rogan thing going on. So it's definitely like suits you, man. And I know you're very like, man, you got a huge heart. And I tell everybody that I talk to, man, Jonas is one of the better people that I've, met in my life. And you just know someone's a good person where everywhere you go, someone just speaks very highly of you. And you've never heard of one negative thing about someone, man. And that's when you know you've really met someone that just has a pure heart. And I'm excited for you in this journey, brother.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. That means a lot to me. And I will definitely see you tonight. What, in about?
Yeah, in about an hour, I'll be getting on.
About an hour, bro. Sounds good, man. Well, I'm gonna work on some editing while you're on live, but dude, I'll definitely see you here in about an hour, brother. Much love to you, man.
Brother.
All right, see ya.
Later.